Combos are a staple part of the vast majority of fighting games, especially in the modern sense, but this has been a thing since the very beginning as well. Combos are typically how a character's overall damage is judged compared to the rest of the cast. Sure, some characters get their damage via individual hits with pokes or special moves, fireballs, etc., but a ton of characters typically obtain their damage via combo opportunities throughout the match. Combos come from all sorts of on-hit effects, whether it's hit stun, crumples, pop-ups, juggles, all the usual systems. And with that comes specific design challenges from the developers to make sure that things don't get a little too crazy. Sometimes, however, things slip through the cracks, and characters are able to continue combos for way longer than intended, or via means that simply weren't discovered until much later, and that's where you get what's called an infinite combo. A combo that, once started, will not end via anything but a timeout or the recipient losing. And that's what we're covering today, as we are ketchup and mustard, and we're going to show you 5 infinite combos in Mortal Kombat. Number 5. MK1 Sonya. It's funny to look back and think that, yeah, even in the very first MK we had an infinite in the midst to deal with. But to be fair, this one isn't obvious at face value, and almost every fighting game of this era had similar things in hindsight. It was part of the charm, really. This infinite is Sonya's leg lift being done over and over again. But if you just sit and try and do this yourself now, it won't work. That's because this only works via a bug which is well documented in MK1. Basically, if you counter hit an opponent and knock them down, there's a tiny window when they stand up that they are unable to block. This is used for a number of characters in the game to get damage, but Sonya can use this window to hit her leg lift special, and then do it again and again until she wins. It's definitely not very flashy, but hey, it was technically the first infinite in Mortal Kombat, so it definitely deserves some recognition for sure. Number 4. MK Deception Launching Throws. Ah yes, it's time to talk about MK Deception again. I find that typically when people talk about 3D era MK, Deception tends to take the spot of a lot of people's favourite of the bunch, and for good reason. It introduced the story mode style of conquest, chess combat, online play, and a super interesting collection of characters, and when it came to gameplay, I personally found that Deception had the right blend of fun, control, and just enough broke stuff to keep things spicy with wild combos, arena hazards, and more. But make no mistake, it's broken as hell, and one thing that leads to all sorts of nonsense is the way the game handles normal throws. We'll get into detail about other things you can do off throws in future videos because there's a lot to cover, but today we're going to focus on one important aspect. Throws in MK Deception can't be teched, and it is as crazy as it sounds. A number of attacks lead to enough hit stun that you can walk up to your opponent on hit, get a guaranteed throw from it, which is a good chunk of extra damage by itself. But some characters have a throw that pops the opponent up for a full combo. However, every pop-up throw in the game leads to an infinite. By simply moving back after hitting the throw and then hitting a jump kick at a specific time, the opponent is forced into standing, with enough hit stun to guarantee another throw, into another jump kick, into another throw. You get the idea. Far from the last time we'll mention MKD, as it has so much wild stuff for us to talk about, but the throw system really is the source of so much craziness. Still a great game though. Number 3. MK4 Reptile. Going back to MK4 for this one, and we're covering one of the most popular characters with a great track record of extremely flashy and exciting combos. But that's not what we're showing today. Oh no, Reptile was a strong character in MK4 as he is in most of his appearances. However, one reason he was so strong in MK4 was his weapon, a huge battle axe. Maybe in hindsight it didn't really fit him that much, but mechanically it was powerful. One of its attacks is a simple launcher that can have its recovery cancelled by doing a few things, such as cancelling with a special move, or with block, and that is the important one. Cancelling the attack's recovery with block turns this into a true infinite juggle, at least until max damage kicks in. Proper infinites are hard to come by in MK4 due to max damage prevention, but it can technically be done, just not in the most super practical sense anyway, but it does exist. For this video though, I just wanted to focus on what was as much of an infinite in this game as you're likely to see, belonging to a character that is always known for weird combo possibilities. Number 2. MK Deadly Alliance Baraicho. Speaking of powerful characters, we're going to 3D era Mortal Kombat and Bo' Rai Cho, a match made in heaven. Seriously, Bo' Rai Cho was so strong in most of the 3D games that it's pretty wild, and even his first ever appearance in Deadly Alliance, he was a problem, considered one of the strongest characters in the game by many for a variety of reasons, but one aspect about him that can't be ignored is one particularly powerful special move. For the sake of this video not getting demonetized, let's just call it the puddle. This move would fully stun the opponent for a free hit if they stepped on it, making it strong in neutral for zoning the opponent out, almost like somewhat of an ice clone. Where Bo' Rai Cho appears in this video, however, is for the fact that while some prevention was in place to stop you guaranteeing the puddle everywhere, it still found its way through, and using a certain launcher, a delay, and then using the puddle, it became a true infinite, as once you got launched, you couldn't stop yourself from standing up right on top of the puddle, and automatically being stunned again. This is maybe the most disgusting infinite in Mortal Kombat, but good lord was it powerful. Number 1. Ultimate MK3 Striker. This video has been full of infinites that work on a technical aspect, but maybe not as flashy as you would have thought at first, so I wanted to make sure it ended on hands down one of the coolest infinites that MK has ever seen, and it belongs to everyone's favourite MK-themed police officer, Striker. Striker was pretty bad in vanilla MK3, but Ultimate MK3 came out quite soon after, so he wasn't stuck completely helpless for long, as Ultimate saw him get a significant upgrade via the addition of his gun special, which at its core is a damage-dealing move with decent range that knocks back. What's cool is that if you hit someone airborne with it, it keeps them suspended in the air for enough time to close the distance and follow up again, and it's loopable, making this an infinite against certain characters who are big enough. The closer you get to the corner, you have to start altering it a bit, but it's super cool and easily the strongest thing Striker has in Ultimate MK3. Believe it or not, it's not enough to make the character top tier or anything, but it's definitely strong, especially against characters like male ninjas who are big enough to get looped properly. And that's 5 infinite combos we've seen in Mortal Kombat. Something I'm thankful for is that none of these examples are modern. Let's go! Infinites found these days tend to be swiftly removed and patched out, but we'll always have the originals in their full glory to remind ourselves what broken things have been possible in years past. Thank you for watching, let us know what you think of the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.